More than 4 years into the war, Ukraine's most brutal battlefield might just be inside its own capital. While Russian forces grind forward on the front lines, Kyiv's defense establishment is trapped in a relentless cycle of firings, resignations, and political purges. The staggering toll: 7 top-level military and civilian defense removals in just over 4 years. The instability starts at the absolute top. The highly popular Iron General, Valerii Zaluzhnyi, was ousted in February 2024. His replacement, General Oleksandr Syrskyi, lasted until July 2026 before being unceremoniously sacked. Syrskyi's dismissal wasn't born of battlefield strategy, but forced by severe public backlash and a total collapse in civil-military relations. The civilian side of the war machine is in even worse shape. Ukraine has burned through 4 different defense ministers since the invasion began. The most recent casualty is Mykhailo Fedorov, a 35-year-old tech visionary credited with revolutionizing Ukraine's drone warfare and crippling Russian logistics. Zelensky fired him after a mere 6 months in the job. Fedorov's abrupt sacking backfired spectacularly. It sent thousands of angry Ukrainians into the streets of Kyiv, triggering some of the largest wartime protests the country has seen. The public fury forced Zelensky into a massive political corner, ultimately leading to General Syrskyi's firing just days later in a desperate bid to calm the unrest. At the heart of this command crisis is a bitter generational war. Fedorov and his modernizers demanded agile, data-driven drone warfare and rapid procurement. General Syrskyi and the old guard clung to Soviet-style, top-down tactics that veterans say cost thousands of lives in grinding frontline assaults. The two ideologies simply could not coexist. Now, 43-year-old General Mykhailo Fedorov takes command of the armed forces, promising to modernize the ranks. Yevhenii Khmara moves from acting defense minister to the permanent post as Ukraine's leadership reshuffle continues. On Wednesday, Ukraine's parliament formally approved Khmara as defense minister, with 312 lawmakers voting in favor. A career SBU Special Operations officer, Khmara spent more than 15 years in the agency's Special Operations Center A and took part in combat operations during the full-scale war. But his appointment is not necessarily a clean break with the previous ministry. Khmara has signaled that he wants key specialists involved in defense procurement reform to remain in their positions, suggesting continuity in one of the ministry's most important reform programs. He has also identified long-range strikes against targets inside Russia as one of his priorities. So after years of commanders and ministers coming and going, Ukraine's defense establishment has yet another new leadership team. Khmara now joins General Fedorov at the center of Zelensky's wartime defense structure. But as Russia entrenches itself in a stable, multi-year war economy, the ultimate question remains: can this latest team finally bring stability to Ukraine's defense establishment while still finding a way to defeat Moscow?